So I had got a new fish. That's the mom down there. I bought a red male before, but it died, and then I bought a new one. The pet store replaced them. Wanted them to have babies. They have babies. That right there you see is the babies falling, and he goes to pick them up and bring them back. He's gonna try to get. Is he gonna get that one? No, he didn't make it. So one thing I want to also make note of in this little setup I have here, there's a 10-gallon tank. I was actually trying to start to just grow some more of my plants that I have from my other tanks. Then I just said, let me get extra betta fish to throw in here and see if I can get them to breed. That's one of the babies falling down. They're very tiny now, and he'll pick them up and bring them back to the surface, to the bubble nest. Now the thing about it, I realized when I had overgrowth in my main tank of these plants. I'll put the link in the description for the name of these plants, because I forget right now. Sword something, echidna sword something, I forget. So anyway, and those on the bottom were the Jungle Val plants, and those are the ones I was trying to have more of, to have it kind of really grow. Now these, because of the overgrowth in my main tank, I ripped them off, these long petals, long stems, and I ripped them off. Well, they're leaves, but like as they get in the smaller point near the base of the plant, they're almost like stems going into the leaves. And I ripped them off, and I was like, let me throw them here because they could act as fertilizer as they decay. But instead of decaying anytime soon, they just simply floated at the top, creating this kind of little haven at the top that both fish would be able to hide in when they wanted to. And I realized it created a comfort zone for them. Sometimes they would even lay on top of the leaves. So the point I was going to make is that after them breeding and having this little bubble nest, having this there for him to do the bubbles next to is good. You can see right here, he's moving up inside there. Is that one, it allows for, if the fish fall from the bubble nest and though he's got to put them back, if you have these plants underneath it, these leaves, it makes it where they don't have to, it may catch them when they fall, so they don't have to all fall to the bottom. Because I've seen some of them fall to the bottom, and they'll make their way to try to swim back up, but it's not very easy. You see some of them down there, the little white stuff. Some of them will eventually start coming back up, but some of them may not make it up. But also, it keeps the bubbles together, because when I tried this in my 5-gallon tank and I didn't have any plants like this, what happens is, if there's any kind of movement, sometimes it gets scattered. I had a lot of snails in that tank too already, and they kind of sometimes, when the bubbles are near the edge, they go near the edge and kind of mess things up. Where here, this little patch of leaves kind of formulate to help the nest stay together, because the leaves aren't moving, and it keeps everything together. And so I noticed that seems to be a benefit. So just a little bit of food for thought in case you guys want to try that out. So I don't know if it could be seen, but you can see a lot of the little bettas are grabbing hold of the top of the leaf. So essentially what's happening is, as I mentioned earlier, that the nest was formed right where all these leaves are. Hold on, let me back out. So then conveniently, it kind of works out that now they kind of all huddle underneath it, and they kind of, I don't know if they can grab hold of it, but they stick right underneath there. As you can see, a whole bunch of them now, and they're just sitting there. And even though they don't have access to the surface, I don't know if this is considered a positive or a negative, that, this is their situation stuck underneath the leaf, but it might be considered a pro, because I think they latch onto it, though they don't have access to the bubble nest anymore, but they're still just kind of gravitating to the leaf. You see them all underneath there. Yeah, I think they're able to hold on to it, so I'm not really too sure, but just kind of really capturing what's going on. The male betta still is bringing them up to the bubble nest from that angle, but from these areas, he still will bring them underneath there too, but he tries to target the actual bubble nest. You see him, he's looking at the snail. I've got 2 snails in here, 2 aquatic snails, to really just kind of clean things up. And, you know, being that the male is very territorial right now, that's kind of where his mindset is right now. But, yeah, so this is the second time, as I mentioned before, that I've spawned baby Betta, known as Fry, and it was successful. Well, the first time of this little setup here, it wasn't, because the red, there was a red Betta I had just like that, just like the dad here, that died. But then I got a new one, and everything worked out.